All right, welcome everybody back to the John Howard Show. I know it's been a long time, but I got a very exciting episode for you. We're here at Wes Madden's farm, 9-line Wagyu. We'll get more into the story about what 9-line means, but this is a all organic, 100% Wagyu farm. And Wes Madden, good buddy of mine, Army helicopter veteran pilot, owner of Scenic Sotheby's here in Destin, 30A, Florida, and also 9-line Wagyu, where we're here on his 495-acre farm in Bonifay, Florida, about an hour north of 30A. And Wes, he's going to take it over a little bit, tell us a little bit about the farm, and we're going to walk around and show you guys everything this farm has to offer.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, dude. It's good to have you out here. I know we talk meat a lot, and
we eat a lot too.
We do. And so it's good to have you out. Love to walk you around. It's a good time because we had like 30 days of rain here. We're blessed to be in this little pocket here where we get a lot of rain. So we're gonna walk and talk, but we're gonna look at some things in the pasture, kind of explain our regenerative pasture process that we have here. And I'm gonna introduce you to the herd, if that's cool.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go walk. We're gonna meet the cows, and let's go check them out.
Perfect, let's go. I'm gonna introduce you to Cowboy Ed Barfield, our ranch manager. Ed's a retired former Marine. Actually, you're never a former Marine, always a Marine, right?
That's right, that's right.
So we got a Marine here. We're a veteran operation here. And as we get up here, Ed's going to show us a few things. Actually, we're going to look at some cow poop. That's cool?
That's good.
Okay, good.
Yep,
all right.
That's right.
So up here, you see these things here with the cages on them. That's actually, we call that a creep feeder. One of the things with Wagyu is they've got a marbling window, which actually starts the last 90 days in utero. So before that mama drops that calf, we start supplementing those mamas with a grain supplement to make sure that they're getting all the energy to that calf. But when that calf drops, that first 150 days, they got to make sure that they have access to good quality starter feed. So when you see these in the fields, these are paddocks where we're calving calves, and they have access to this. Ideally, in the first several days, they start coming in and getting a little bit, and you can kind of see right down there where they can just get a little bit. So it allows the calf to get in, but not the full-grown
Not the
mamas.
adults. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And explain to everybody, because I didn't even know this on Wagyu. I thought all Wagyu was 100% Wagyu.
Yeah.
And this is the very unique thing about your farm. It's not crossbred with like a big bulky cow to produce more meat. Right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of misinformation in the Wagyu world, certainly. You've probably seen American Wagyu, Snake River Farms, Australian Wagyu. One of the things that we committed to here is running a 100% Japanese black full-blood Wagyu operation. And what that means is that these animals in their entire lifetime, they've never been crossed with any other English breed. A lot of producers, what they found was they could they can get that Wagyu boost with the marbling and cross them with some of the English breeds. And what that allows them to do is finish them faster, larger carcasses, so more yield. So commercially, and if the branding standards in the United States mean that you don't have to necessarily proof that, you can get, it's just more dollars. So it's a little more profitable. We believe in the breed. The reason why we stay with full blood is these animals have a genetic predisposition to actually convert saturated fat to monounsaturated fat. And that only occurs with the full blood. Now the full blood, if you've ever had Wagyu, and we've talked about this, but if you ever have Wagyu and you go like, it was okay. Like I'll run into people and they'll go like, yeah, I had Wagyu once and it was okay. I'm like, all right, you didn't have full blood. Because it should have that big, bold, beefy flavor, that flavor explosion. Yeah.
I would get regular Wagyu. I'm like, yeah, it's good. But once I tried yours, I was like, it's like a whole different type of beef. It's just so tender, the flavor. It was night and day difference.
And that's that monounsaturated fat coming through. And what it does is it actually it's got a low melting point, it's full of oleic acid, it's got a 3-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. And what that does is it taps into your fifth taste sense, which is umami. The Japanese call it umami, and that's that savory taste, right? And if you ever eat the meat, and you know this, you should eat it, and it almost feels like you got chapstick on your lips a little bit. Then you got full blood. So, but that's where all the heart, and we'll talk more about like the health benefits, which I geek out on. That's really what kind of created the passion for Laura and I to kind of venture down this path, and so we don't sacrifice on the genetics. I mean, one of the things that we did this year was we made a significant investment in the genetic base of our herd. We got a couple of the mamas here that we had purchased in auction. So we look for very specific genetic traits that we're looking for in this herd, and it's all about creating balance, right? So a lot of times when you're looking at the genetics with the herd, you may have an animal that's very high marbling, right? But they don't have a big carcass size, or they may not have great maternal traits, right? So as we're kind of creating our base herd, we want to make sure that we're getting balance in the herd, and we feel extremely good about where we're at right now. We have propelled our herd genetically, and if only we could just snap our fingers and create a finished steer overnight, but the process takes a while. It's about a 9-month gestation cycle by the time one of our mamas becomes pregnant, and then our finishing process, we're not processing the steers until about 28 to 30 months.
Oh, wow.
Before they're finished. So.
And what would be a normal, a commercial cow farm? How quick are they doing it?
Yeah, they're doing it in 24 months. So yeah, we've got a 6-month longer period. And one of the things, like we said, that marbling window is in the first 200 days of their life. So and it's not something you can catch up on. It's not like like I talked about with supplementing the mamas and getting that good starter feed, for the calves. I can't catch up. Once the adipose tissue is created, it's created. That's what they've got. And then it's just a matter of taking advantage of those cells.
Cool. What was the cow you want to show me? You said you had to see it first. Was it Lily or something?
Oh, Lolly.
Lolly.
Lolly girl. She's over here. So these are some of our new calves here.
How old are these calves?
Ed, these girls dropped, what are they? We got a bull and a heifer. They dropped they're 2
months, and a little heifer about 3 months.
Oh, 2 to 3 months.
3 months.
And then we've got 2 over here that are less than 30 days old.
Oh.
Yeah, you want to see?
Some baby.
Some babies.
Those right there?
Yeah, there's 410.
He's the newest, 410. And 409 was born about a week and a half before him.
Oh, 409. That's my area code back in Texas where I'm from. How old is the 409?
This is actually 409. He's about 30 days old.
30 days old. Wow.
And we've nicknamed him Hawk because he was born at 93 pounds.
93 pound calf.
We're
What-
137 at 3 weeks.
Wow.
On average, they're going to be about 65 pounds. That's kind of the.
So yeah, he's a big one.
Yeah, one thing, as you can see,
409.
like as you're looking at them, I mean, these are beautiful Wagyu, by the way. I mean, they're really, Ed does a great job. Him and his wife, Lori, look after the herd. Our feed protocol's dialed in. You can see how slicked out and beautiful they are. Lolly girl.
How many cattle you got on the ranch?
So we're running, I'll call it 100 head.
Okay.
It ebbs and flows as we drop calves, certainly. So when you're running a cow-calf operation, we could have 25 calves in November. But that's kind of the number we feel good about with the amount of acreage that we have right now and the capacity that we have.
Quality control.
Yeah, 100 head is kind of where we are right now. Now we are working to create more pasture. We're actually creating a silva pasture to the north over there. We are working with the USDA. They do a program called an equip, which will help you with some of the fencing. Okay, wells, DC powered wells. You could see that well out there. That was courtesy of the USDA equip program. Allowed us. It's about a 90% cost share. So it doesn't pay for all of it, but does help. You gotta, the government stuff, there's a lot of paperwork and there's a little bit of bureaucracy to make your way through, but it's there. As a veteran-owned business, we want to take advantage of those opportunities. But at the same time, we've really been kind of, Ed and I have been really turning the screws on the USDA to adopt the regenerative model and a lot of the things that we're looking to do. Like for instance, these troughs down here, we got to dump all that water. We got to clean that trough once a week. And if we're really looking at conservation, there's better watering systems that are available in the marketplace. So we're really trying to get the USDA to see the benefit of that and the conservation that can come with that, and help us in taking our farm to that next level. And they've been receptive, although it's taken some work, but
They're not going to do it unless you tell them to do it?
No.
Push them?
No, you got to push them. They're like, well, we don't do that. We don't cover that. We're like, well, let's talk about it. So then we actually engaged with an environmental engineer who also helps us. She's also a well driller, and she helped significantly, to act as a liaison with the USDA, and we've made some pretty significant progress. But our goal is that Nine Line Farms will be really kind of leading, the regenerative practice in Florida for a cattle operation.
Yeah.
And as we talk through some of these things, it's certainly not easier, and it's certainly not more cost effective, right? But we feel good about it. By the time that our meat is on your plate, we feel really good about the product that we're putting out there to the public, and that's really why we got into it. I mean, Laura and I started this journey because, the food system was broke. We didn't feel good with the food that we were eating. We didn't really feel good about the the food choices that were available to us, and we felt like this is one thing we can do. This is one thing. We can't change all that, but what we can do is do something. And we're do something people, and that's why we're doing this. So.
Yeah. And this is like third year, second year?
Yeah, third year. We were blessed to, we had friends that would come down from Bend, Oregon, and Brian and Rainey Boma. They had Twin Sisters Ranch in Bend, Oregon, beautiful ranch. But every time they came to Florida, they'd bring this meat, and we'd cook it, and it was just, I kept asking, I'm like, what am I eating here? Because not only is it the best tasting thing I've ever had, but at the time I was eating keto. And when you eat keto, your fat, the quality of fat, you can tell almost instantly because your body's creating ketones, and you get that brain flush. And I just knew instantly this was high quality fat, and I wanted to know more. And thankfully, Brian and Rainey were very in tune with the nutritional benefits of the breed, and just started talking. Then all of a sudden, during COVID hit, and they said, we're moving to Florida. We're escaping Oregon. So I was like, all right, let's go. And so we helped them move down, obviously being a real estate broker. But then the question came up, well, what about your herd? And they said, well, I don't know. I guess we'll just do a disbursement sale and sell it all off. And I said, well, at the time, we were sitting on this land here and not really doing anything with it other than kind of sort of hunting and maintaining it. And I said, well, I'll buy half your herd. I just sold my business in Alaska, and I needed to do something with that money, and so 4 semi truckloads of that facility down there. We packaged up and shipped down a lot of the equipment, the animals, shipped it across the country, and started Nine Line Farms.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Product of COVID. Glad something positive came out of it.
Yeah, that did come positive.
Yeah.
So you want to take a look at some cow poop, or what do you want to do? What do you want to show next?
Yeah, let's find a good one.
He's going to start showing us some of the cow poop, and it's a lot more information than what you're thinking, especially when it comes to the dung beetle, and it comes to chemicals, and it's very, very interesting. It also lets you know about how bad a lot of these chemicals are for you to be eating on non-organic beef. So I'm going to let him take it away and explain it all.
All right, so howdy. What I want to talk to y'all about briefly here, maybe not so briefly, but I can go on for a long time on this stuff, is the movement of regenerative farming. You don't have to be 100% organic to start improving your pastures and improving your herd health and improving everything that you do with your operation. One of the biggest things that you can do for your herd, if you're in an area that dung beetles are natural to, is to cater to the dung beetle. Dung beetles are one of the most powerful friends that you can have, or allies that you can have in pasture health. For instance, right here we have a cow pie that is probably in the neighborhood of a week old. All right, so you see this dirt starting to show here. This all was manure pile just like this. You can see it around the edges here, all the way around. And what is happening is the dung beetles are taking this manure and tunneling down into the dirt, bringing the dirt up and filling the tunnels with the manure. They then lay their eggs down at the bottom of the tunnel, and as the larvae hatch out, they eat the manure that is in the tunnel all the way to the top, and then they go through the transformation of becoming a beetle. Now, if you look really close right here, when you lift this up, there's nothing left of this manure except a thin little film, a tiny little film. And what is happening all up under there is more dirt. So they are taking this manure completely out and down, and there's a tunnel, little tunnel system right there, where they're bringing dirt up still. This little cap then is pushed up by the growing grass and will be elevated in the air like so, held up by new growing grass, and it creates shade for the new dung beetle when they come to the top. We'll show you over here on another one in just a minute where it's a little further along in the process. But if you look across this pasture, most pastures that you look across may not have the weeds that we have because they're using chemicals, but what else you'll find in there is little tuffets, I call it, of grass that the cattle won't eat. And that is because of the manure that's left there to its own accord, rained on, eventually it'll go down, but it creates a tuffet of grass that the cows do not want to eat. You won't see that out here, and the reason is because of these dung beetles. When the very beginning, when you first introduce dung beetles to your pasture, you will notice little green spots out there in the field, and that's where the manure is being taken down and fertilizing the grass for regrowth. Eventually, after 6 months or so of that, the entire pasture starts looking like that because it leaches out into the ground, which is a great thing. And you have a regenerative pasture that looks like what we're looking at here. Now, right down here, just a little ways, I noticed another one. So, if you look at this one, the grass is already starting to push in like I was talking about here. And as that grass lifts and pushes, it will lift this whole cap up like so. And it'll be standing up, the grass will be standing in there holding it up just like poles under a barn. And that's exactly what it is. It's a shade barn for the new dung beetles. It's a really cool thing. It's a really cool thing. One of the things about this is, if you're using ivermectin in your cattle, if you're using Dectomax in your cattle, if you're using any kind of worm preventative or dewormer other than Sidectin or Safeguard, you're killing the dung beetle larvae. So that is the reason, the single biggest reason for the decline of the dung beetle in the southeast United States is those dewormers. Another problem in this right here is we don't put any fertilizer on this. The dung beetles take care of all of it. But if you come out here and put just any commercial nitrogen on this pasture, you're also killing the microbes that are in this ground. You're also killing part of the fungi strings that are in this ground, and you are damaging the dung beetle's habitat simply by using chemical fertilizer. I could preach about this the rest of the day, but we're gonna hold it up right there.
No, I mean, that's kind of where I was getting at. It's like, if those chemicals will kill an entire population on this farm of dung beetles, and you're now eating that beef, what do you think it's doing to your gut, your body? And it kind of makes me think that's why we have so many issues with health issues, cancer. I mean, can't be healthy. If it kills beetles, it's not gonna be good for you. All right, so explain to me what we're gonna go see over here.
Yeah, so we're gonna look at our fats. These are steers that we're finishing prior to processing, so that the latter half of that finishing process. We got a phase 1 finishing pen, and then phase 2, and then you know, once they're done, then they have that one bad day of their life. We got our chickens here. We got some Rhode Island Reds. There
Nice.
they are.
These are Wagyu chickens?
No, yeah, well, no, but I tell you what, the Wagyu like them because they're tearing up all the insects, and it's living around here. They're taking care of it, and they put off some great eggs. We eat a lot of farm fresh eggs around here. Got our coop over here.
Oh, that's it right there?
Yeah. Little doors on a timer. Ed's wife Lori takes care of. You can see the eggs in there.
That's what you call organic bug control.
Yeah, baby.
Nice. I like that little door like that. I wish I had that on mine.
It works pretty darn well. And I don't know if they can pick up the audio, but this is Lori.
Hi.
Lori Barfield.
His twin.
We're twinning. We're twinning today.
We're twinsies today.
She's our calf whisperer. So every time we got a sick calf, and she's out making sure they get healthy,
Yes,
and we
I do.
appreciate everything she does. She also helps look after the chickens as well. When you got 3 teenagers that'll eat you out of the dang house, it's like we're crushing like 3 dozen eggs a week. So it is a welcome addition. So yeah, here's our fat pen. Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here's our new farm cat there. Oh, he's friendly.
So these got the horns.
Yeah, so when these came to us, you know, so sometimes the dehorning takes, sometimes it didn't. This was kind of our first round at dehorning. You can see we didn't do as good as we got it figured out now. You know, we were starting to lop them. We were lopping them later, and it's just too much pain. We changed our protocols to where we're dehorning them when they're younger. You know, in that first month or two, get the horn bud out, then you never have to deal with it ever again. Less pain, and obviously more effective. But so these guys are all reaching that 1,500 pound mark. You can see how flat their backs are, and they're really filling out. They're a couple months off, and they'll be ready to go.
So right now they're still on grass, not grain fed.
Yeah, so they get free choice. They got free choice hay, and then we do have a grain ration, a finishing ration that we use, and that's about they each consume about 2% of body weight is what they need per day, and then we've also got some mineral back there. Mineral's really important for you know, especially for the meat quality, but most importantly the marbling. We actually, you'll notice the grass that they're eating. We actually store the grass for 6 months to leach the vitamin A out of it. So that, you know, if they were to, you know, vitamin A, some of the studies in Japan and the United States actually shown that vitamin A can impact the marbling upwards of 30%. So this is all 6-month-old hay. Vitamin A is all leached out of that. So it's not going to hurt the marbling at all.
So we were talking about it earlier, but I always thought grass finished
Yep.
was the best way to go. And then you were kind of explaining to me that's actually a disservice to what the Wagyu actually is.
Yeah, we actually grass finished a few when we first got started, and honestly, I couldn't sell the carcasses. I mean, I couldn't sell the meat because number one, it's gamey. If you like eating gamey meat, I guess eat grass finished. But the thing with these animals is to get the full benefit of that monounsaturated fat, all that oleic acid, all the omega-3s that make this breed so special. You got to hit certain macros, just like us. And they need that energy, and if they don't get, and it's carbs is what they need, you know, just like when we get fat, we eat carbs. it's no different with these animals. They need to get the right rations, and to be honest with you, yeah, out of a respect thing, I was talking to a fellow producer, and he's the one that said it. He's like, grass finishing a full blood Wagyu is really a disgrace to the Wagyu breed and the Japanese culture, because as in Japan, they perfect everything they do, and Wagyu's no different. So we don't limit their movement outside of here. I mean, they do some things to produce that A5 marbling that you see a lot with the Japanese raised animals. They've got room to move. We're not overcrowding. They get great water and great forage, and we got fans on them at all times. And yeah, as you can see, they're filling out nicely.
Yeah, no, they're a lot bigger than the ones out there in the field.
Yeah.
A lot bigger.
Yeah, so this is phase 2. These guys will be going to the processor. Over there are our phase 1. We're just conditioning to add in the grain so that they're ready for the phase 2 here. Yeah, so there's an in-cut New York strip. The in-cuts, you'll notice, have that line down it, right? So when you just get a regular New York strip, it won't have that. But these are a good bargain because you can get these less expensive than the regular New York strips. We sell those. We started doing back ribs, actually, beef back ribs. If you hadn't had these are lights out. Our ground beef, which is a huge hit. We actually, the one I'm most proud of is our carnivore blend. This is 80% of our burger that we mix with heart and liver, 20% heart and liver, so you're getting all the organ meat. This is unbelievable. I highly suggest if you're really seeking a healthy food source, or you want to get into eating the organ meat. This is a great way to do it because it tastes amazing. I mean, you can make this into a burger, and I eat it every morning. I eat like 5-6 ounces of this, a couple of those eggs from those Rhode Island Reds, and it's like getting a B12 shot. If you ever have one of those, feel like $1 million. That's a boneless short rib, actually, really beautifully marbled. We've got a shipment coming in. We'll fill it up. We try to get all of our orders out the door as soon as possible. So we take pre-orders, and really don't want this full. But we're going to be expanding upon the freezer storage down when our warehouse is done. So we'll triple the size of this. We want to have the capacity where we can have 8 carcasses in there at all times, so the numbers work out. And we're excited about that. And then we can have a shipping facility, and I can actually reclaim my dining room in my house, because it's my wife's. We literally have a chest freezer in there now. I got 2 other freezers out in the garage, and it's just all shipping boxes and everything. We ship all over the world. Well, not over the world, all 50 states. We've shipped to Alaska, as far as Alaska. We did a lot of research on the different packaging and how to ship, and we definitely had a learning curve on that, but we got that figured out, and everything has showed up on time, frozen, perfect condition. So that was a learning curve on that one. You pay the dumb tax, but we got her figured out now.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. You want to check out the genetics?
Let's check out the genetics.
All
We
right.
got to be a good spot to go see.
Cool. Yeah, so we not only collect embryos and semen from our animals, because God forbid something were to happen to, one of our herd sires, we still can kind of continue his line, but these tanks are where we keep the genetics. So we've got semen that we use for artificial insemination, and then we've got those frozen embryos that we talked about that we're transferring into those recip girls, and with a tremendous amount of accuracy, we know what we're going to get out of from the data pool that we got from both the American and Australian databases. So we take carcass data and we upload that to those databases, and the more data you get, the more accurate that gets. And I mean, it's that's been a game changer. So we, again, like we were talking about in the field, maternal instincts, carcass growth traits, and then obviously the marbling and marbling fineness too. That's another thing. So one of the things with the processor, when we were talking about which processor to use, it's very important we use a processor that can give us that carcass data. So they use what's called an MIJ camera. or an MEQ camera. That's the Australian version. And we actually get a report back so that we can take that information and upload it, because there's, because it gets certified, and that's what we upload to the databases, and that's been great. But yeah, so we've got these are full of liquid nitrogen, and I'm not going to pull it up for very long, but you can kind of come over here. You want to come see what these little canisters look like? Got to kind of wiggle them out a little bit. Come on, baby. It's all about getting the right angle to dangle. So I'm gonna bring it up real quick. You see those straws right there. Okay. I'm gonna tip it back down because it's gotta stay cooled. But that's, each one of those straws got a marker on it. So we got inventory of everything that's in there. So we get in, when it comes breeding time, we come up with a plan and do all of our matching. And we'll have a spreadsheet. We take this down to the handling facility. I can show you the handling facility actually too. It's really great. Super cool. And we do it all right here on the farm. So but that's it, man. This is probably the most important part of the herd right here, or future herd that is. Yeah.
That's like the bank account.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
The vault.
That's the vault. Yeah,
And we've got semen and embryos stored in other places as well. So you have some companies that we use Vitali, pretty much. It's a genetics company. They process those embryos. They freeze those, so they collect and freeze those the semen and put them in the straws. And then we bank those at Kansas State, Hawkeye breeders up at Iowa, and then we've got some up in North Carolina right now. So
you would do that in case there was like a plague or something like that, all the cattle. You could just
or sales. Yeah. So every once in a while, we're not right now. I mean, we're getting to the point where genetic sales is going to be another part of our business. So we've got a rock star donor cow up in North Carolina right now, and she's putting off we're making like 20 embryos each flush, and she is just off the charts. She was just an absolute rock star. So that'll be one of our first 9-line farms progeny that is going to be hitting the markets. So we're excited about her. Cool. Yeah, she's just a great mama. Great. Her numbers are off the charts. So we're excited about the future of her.
Cool.
Certainly.
All right, let's go check out that other.
Yeah, you want to see the handling facility? So this is our handling facility. We got this was one of the pieces of equipment we actually brought down from Oregon, so that's what we call a head catch right there. So that allows us to be able to bring the animals in, and this is where we work on them. So anytime we're doing any work, so this catches the head here. You see how that works. Each one of these doors opens up. We're able to get inside and work on the animal. It's some of the best equipment you can find on the market. It allows you to be able to get in here, and this is where we do all of our breeding. You can squeeze the animal to keep the animal safe, so they don't get hurt, and you also got a kick bar you can put in here so that you don't get hurt either. So that's another important part of the equation. But we also connect our scale to this. So that's actually a scale. When we bring the animals on, we're able to get live weights on them, keeping up. That spots we spot. We're able to track daily gain on the animals. Want to make sure everyone's doing well. It gives us a metric to kind of watch and see. If someone, is someone losing weight for some reason? What's going on? So you can kind of spot that ahead of time before it becomes an issue. We also take that information and put it into the database. So the 200, 400, 600 day weights, that's a metric in the Australian Wagyu database. So, but yeah, we come around here. We got the tub. You kind of see everything flows around in a circular motion. Try to eliminate right angles. Everything flows. It's really neat. If you're here when we're working animals, Ed could pretty much bring the herd in almost all by himself. We're not shocking them. We're not using four-wheelers or horses. I mean, poor Hotshot, he gets no use because he doesn't. we're not having to round him up. So it's all about low stress, right? Yeah. Ed and I were talking off camera a little bit about the new girls that we just brought in from Iowa. They were on a commercial Wagyu, outfit, and that's why they're so skittish. You know, that's when you were kind of seeing how they were just a little bit standoffish. Yeah, they're just, they're not as docile as the rest of the herd. Well, that's because they're conditioned to be that way. So Ed will bring them down and run them through the facility, and not do anything to them that aggravates them or hurts them, and keep that head catch open so they go right through, so that next time he brings them down and we do need to work them, it's not a negative thing. They're used to doing it. So again.
No, it makes sense because I kind of relate that. I saw a documentary on tuna.
Yeah.
And the harpoon tuna are the most sought after because it's lower stress compared to like pulling line, because they're fighting them for hours.
Yep.
And that cortisol is just destroying that high quality
Correct.
meat.
It's the same thing with tuna, the marbling. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, it makes sense with the cow. Keep them low stress, higher marbling. It's not messed up from all the cortisol.
That's
so
right.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So you kind of first got about 330 acres, and you just started buying more parcels
Yep.
around it to grow it out.
Yeah, I bought the 100 over here, and that put it at 330, and then we just, actually my in-laws purchased, and now we got a long-term lease with them, but we bought another 195 acres, or 100, got my math's off. How big is that? 150 acres over there, just north of Bonifay.
And from my understanding, you need like 3 acres per cow.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, you can, that ebbs and flows depending upon whether or not you're rotationally grazing but yeah, it's a good rule of thumb.
You got some big gators over in this pond, or no gators?
Oh yeah, there's some big gators. Actually, we got some world-class wood duck hunting right there, man. We go out there. I mean, there's a couple hundred wood ducks dump in there every morning. It is lights out. It's about 30 minutes of just straight up shooting constantly.
Oh, awesome.
And it's fun.
So for a better understanding, how many 100% Japanese Wagyu cattle farms are in Florida?
Not many. There's a handful. It depends on if they're, there's a few breeders who just raise seed stock. There's a few smaller outfits. I don't have the exact numbers. There was a big one out of down near Ocala.
Would you say less than 50?
Yeah, less than 50. I mean, I can look it up and tell you based on who's registered.
Heron.
There's a heron.
Some
There's a
beautiful-
deer. See the deer up there?
Beautiful land, yeah. Whitetail, heron. Oh yeah,
There
another
they
one right
go.
there.
Yeah, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. We got a lot of drainage right here, so we constantly have drainage issues. That's something else that we're going to work with the USDA to try to rectify, building up that road a little bit and getting some more culverts dumped in.
The cows ever get down in the little swamps and lakes? Cool.
No, we keep them out of it just because, we don't want them drinking the water. We want to make sure that they're drinking clean water. You can go to the left here.
All right.
Just follow this around. That's our beautiful live oak tree there.
Oh yeah, that's super nice. Wow, it's big.
Yeah, when we mow it all back here, it's just absolutely stunning.
Now, is this where we came that one night where we saw the deer running?
Yeah,
around here?
we're heading there.
Okay.
It's good that you got a 4x4 truck here, because we might have. I'm not sure how the water crossings.
I don't
gonna
think
be
the
down here.
G-Wagon would have. It has 4-wheel drive, but
I'm glad you brought this.
yeah, the wife probably wouldn't have been very happy with that. So, is there any other Japanese Wagyu farms? I guess here in the Bonifay area, you're the only one.
We're the only full blood. There's some Wagyu. There's some folks that are raising, American Wagyu here locally. And that's going to be your 50-50 cross stuff. That's the thing that the consumer has to. It's just a lot of education. They got to make the decision.
Oh, that was one thing for me, because I at the time I was already eating Wagyu, wasn't 100%, And then I did notice, like, I'm like, oh, okay, the price is a bit more on yours. I'm like, let's see if the price really makes a difference. And you destroyed regular Wagyu for me.
Yeah.
It's like when I told you I had that good coffee in Panama, it's so hard to go back
just
to
ruins
regular
you.
coffee. And then once
Yeah.
you have 100% Wagyu, you're just like, oh, wow. Like you can't compare it to nothing.
The
'cause
thing
you
we
never
tell
had it.
people, and this may not apply to you because I know how you eat, but
Came across to here, no problem?
Yeah,
All right.
you get across to here.
This
So
is
it's just an overflow.
beautiful right here.
Yeah. So the beavers like to dam this up here, and it creates a little pond here. I mean, it's a diverse ecosystem here on the farm, and we take these areas very serious. We're actually, this is something that we're working with the USDA on is protecting our wetlands. We work to adhere to the Florida's actually got what's called best management practices that we the way we do. How we dispose of our manure, keeping the animals out of these wetlands because these all flow somewhere, and there's a lot of wildlife actually that lives in here. Unfortunately, the beavers are part of it because they're a little bit of a nuisance, but they're part of the ecosystem.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so we just planted millet back here. We're going to be actually putting some terraces in back here, and the plan is to actually plant perennial peanut hay back here.
I'm so glad I brought this truck.
I know. This is where it needs to be.
So the peanut hay.
Yeah, perennial peanut hay. So the perennial peanut hay is that's kind of our secret weapon. So in our forage, we're planning to buy 400 6-foot bales of perennial peanut hay this year, and it's kind of the South's alfalfa. So it's got a really high total digestive nutrient percentage. It's kind of what we call a hot forage, So we get a ton of our growth from locally sourced perennial peanut hay. But we got to get we're gonna cut terraces in back here to get the drainage working right. Just cut left just a little bit. It's a little bit of low area right there. You can't see some of the, believe it or not, this, it looks not very steep, but we've got a few drainage issues in here, and what it really needs is the terracing, which slows the water down, and then and allows that water to kind of be absorbed by the soil. Truth be told, this this was being used when I first bought the property. This was being rented or leased, I should say, by a peanut farmer, like a traditional peanut farmer, row cropper, and they did what they do. I mean, they cultivate the soil, they tear up the soil, they plant, they fertilize, they herbicide, insecticide, and we got soil tests on this field back here, and it was completely dead.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, so our goal is, so right now it's in a transitional phase, outside of having some coastal Bermuda up here, and we just planted a cover crop of millet to just hold the soil right now. We'll be replanting this, like I said, after all the dirt work's done, and this will be a beautiful perennial peanut hay that's gonna feed our animals for many, many years to come.
This is like free range. I mean, this is
Yeah.
This is it. This is what I think of when I think free range. Not in a little pen with whatever it is, 3 meters. Like,
Yeah.
this is real, just out there, free range.
Yeah, and we kind of tossed around whether or not we want to graze this back here. We'd have to run the animals down that trail we just came down, so that's
Yeah.
a little bit of a challenge certainly. But if we could just produce our own hay, that cuts our feed cost down considerably. Even if we had a hay farmer come in here, cut it, take half the bales for himself, leave half the bales for us, we can get 3-4 cuttings a season, and that would supply all the hay we'd need for our operation. So,
We drive over there.
yeah, you can go up here a little bit. I would tell you, you won't be able to make it down the
Gets
the
low
goat
over
trail
there.
over there. Yeah.
Oh, the goat trail. Yeah,
There's another swamp over there in that corner.
it smells so good. Just smell all that. Just fresh. Is that your biggest swamp back over there?
Yeah, right behind us is.
Yeah.
They actually call it Williams Bay. All right, so go ahead and go to the right.
Go to the right.
There's a little low spot right there.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, come over here. We can just drop down and head back if you
Okay,
want.
yeah, we can do that.
Because this neck's down over here, and then it's hunting trails. We got, we cut in a perimeter trail around the property. We've got some condos up, some tree stands up. The cattle business is kind of taking precedence over having fun in hunting, but one of these days we'll get to growing some big whitetail bucks here.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I remember that one night we were out here and you had that thermal scope.
Oh yeah.
You could see all the whitetail just
They're
all
everywhere.
over here.
So many. Go ahead and drop down to the left a little bit. There's a little bit of a washout up here. I don't want to put your TRX through the paces. Or actually, just send it. It's paid for.
That's right. We'll test it out.
We
See
got a
how-
tractor pull you out.
It'll be a good commercial for Ram.
Yeah, it's beautiful back here, man. I'd love to have a house up here on that hill. I mean,
Yeah, really good idea up there.
you can land an airplane up there. Just
Easy
saying.
for a helicopter.
Easy for a helicopter.
Very easy for a
Now
helicopter.
the other property we call it the Happy Hollow. It's on Happy Hollow Street, right north of Bonifay. We actually have a big Quonset hut that could work really well as a hangar.
And if you put an airstrip out here, that would be amazing. I'd park my plane here.
All in due time. Like I said, the goal is just to get to it's just nothing's instant gratification. That's the thing. You got to be patient. And I'm not necessarily a patient person by nature. I want to get things done right away, but there's so much that just you're taking baby steps, and sometimes you don't realize the progress you're making. But you kind of look back. I look back at old photos, and you kind of try to remember where you were and where we've come in such a short time. It helps keep you motivated, but it's costly. The breed's expensive. There is everything
not
with
a
this.
Get rich quick business.
No. Yeah, they're not. Every calf that drops on the ground is really a, $10,000-$12,000 animal. So we really cherish every single one of our animals. Not just from the monetary standpoint, but we could sit and go down every single animal that we've calved on this or raised on this farm, and we can tell you a little story about each one, and that's how we want to be. We never want to be so big to where we don't know all of our animals. And I think really understanding your herd is very important. Allows us to be able to really observe and find the traits, find the animals. There's a commonality in some of the animals that just are just really easy, mild-mannered. We want, and that's another thing too, is temperament's important, right? So we want animals that are very docile, great mamas. Our bulls, I didn't get a chance to introduce you to Sanji and Mitch, but they're both hams. You get a bull that's a bully. I mean, that's where the word bully comes from. I mean, it can be a real pain, man.
Now, this is what I love about your farm is it's not money, because you make your money in real estate.
That's right.
This is a passion for you. Like you didn't have to do this to be like, well, I got to make money, I got to have a job. Like you're like, this is what I really want to do, and that's why I think the meat quality is so good. You got love into what you're doing, and man, I can't wait to show people the product, like when we actually unpackage it and show the marbling. But like, I mean, I've been eating the 9-line for I think at least a year now.
Yeah.
And I bought that half cow, and there's just nothing compared to it. Even like I told you, I was down in Chile and Argentina. The beef was great. There was no problem with it, but it still was not that Wagyu beef flavor. It wasn't that love that you put into these cattle with that low stress. Because I've been to those big cow farms.
Yeah.
They're running them 4-wheelers. They're running them. Even I've seen with helicopters.
Oh yeah.
They're pushing them hard, and
Yep.
here it's all low stress, and the quality shows.
Like we said, I mean, those mamas that we got from Iowa, I mean, you could tell that they came from a commercial operation. They are skittish. You know, their heads are up, they're flighty, they get agitated easy. We're gonna, Ed's gonna work on them to get them conditioned to settle in and become part of our herd. We'll go through a battery of testing, before we assimilate them into our herd. We do run a closed herd. It keeps, there's some illnesses that that can kind of run rampant on our herd, and we like to keep, so they're segregated in that paddock until we're able to get them all tested and make sure everyone's, passed their health check. So, yeah, I'd like to think, I know what goes into each cut of meat, and it's hard not to, every time, I was telling somebody the other day, I said, one of the best things for us, I got three boys, man, and one's going off to college, and it's just time flies by so fast, and you only have so many dinners together. And we got a family group text, and when Laura, my wife, when she texts, hey, we're having Wagyu tonight, all three boys show up, and sometimes their buddies too, but we get together, we're able to bless the meal, be, just be grateful for having this opportunity to be together and to really enjoy something that we've all had a part in, and we're able to spend time with the kids, man. There's only, I don't know, life goes so fast. It's like, stop and just really enjoy it. And there's just no reason not to be eating food that is bioavailable and nutrient dense and tastes amazing. And it's just I don't know, man. We're blessed to have the opportunity to even be doing this, and like I said, I'm excited for the future. I'm just excited to hit, I'd love to just get in the black, everyone's like, farms are great for great tax write-offs. I'm like, well, it's because they suck your income out. That's it's just like things happen in $10,000 increments.
It's a tax write-off when you're in a loss.
Yeah, but a lot of expenses, but man, like I said, it's a passion project. You can try to go left here. Yeah, we get the tractor up through here. We can go check out Big Gator Lake.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think many boys are going to say no to come eat Wagyu. They might not appreciate it as much, but I guarantee the Bo going off to college, he's going to be like, oh man, my dad, I got to go home and eat. Although I'm sure he's going to have plenty of it up there in college.
Well, and like we talked about our upbringings a little bit, right? It's like, I grew up on a farm in a farming community, and everything you learn.
Good on that side?
Yeah, you're good up here. Everything you learn being on the farm is just, not to mention he's learning all the trades. Him and Grandpa are remodeling the farmhouse here. We probably should have bulldozed it down and did a barn dominium, but I lost the vote on that, and so we're remodeling it. But he's learned how to plumb and do electrical, and hang mud tape, finish sheetrock.
That's great.
A lot of kids his age never get.
No, especially in today's time.
We had to kind of volunteer him, you know what I mean? But it was good. He was scooping ice cream at Ben and Jerry's. I'm like, dude. Yeah. My dad dropped me off at 16 years old at a non-union concrete construction company. He was like, here's your summer job. And I worked.
Do you have a park it here or drive around?
Yeah, you want to check it out?
Yeah. No, this is beautiful. Super nice. Where's that gator at? Is he out here?
Well, he was bellowing over there in the grass over there. We actually caught some little baby gators that were swimming around in here. But we got great bass, crappie in here. Long term we want to really develop the fisheries here. So we have some slot sizes on the bass that we need to keep. To start getting that going. That's where Ed's been great, because he's done this before. It's not often that you get a cattleman that's also managed some of the wildlife on a property before. He worked for the Petronas family for many years, and all that's coming back. But this will be kind of stage 2 in our evolution of the farm. Really want to create a place where we can bring out clients, hold veterans events, bring them out, do dove shoots back in the back. I got a bunch of guys that we've talked about it. They're really into hunting and fishing, and it just takes labor. We need help, and a lot of guys go, man, like to help you with that. And I'm like, man, you can come out anytime. Planting food plots, getting doing bank restoration or cleaning up brush. Yeah, man.
That's beautiful. It's nice to have this in your backyard. Love it. Old cypress trees out here in the water.
Yeah. All the wood that goes in, that's going in, all that Pecky cypress, Pecky cedar, it's all from this property.
That's awesome.
So took it over to a buddy over here that's got a sawmill, cut it all up, dried it all up. Now we're planing it and putting it up in that house. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, pretty neat.
That's real cool. Drive around some more, or does it go around?
Yeah, it does. We can see how far we can get.
Very cool. It's great to see it in the daylight.
I know. Yeah, you didn't get the full experience when you came out last time.
Yeah. So nice. I just love the size of this that you got right here. You don't have any springs on the property, do you?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. Up. A lot of this water is coming from, a couple springs. Actually, there's a spring over here. That's we're bush hogging that area, where we're going to be putting in the silvopasture. And the silvopasture is just, you don't take down all the trees, right? So we leave the trees in and we plant the pasture around the trees. It's really great for the ecosystem, everything we're trying to do with the regenerative practice. And and then it gives shade to the animals, you know what I mean? They're able to kind of get under a tree, and being a black animal out here in the Florida sun, it's not fun. We do have a shade mobile out here. We might get to the point where we can see it. Looks skinny down there.
That looks skinny. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that one. Does it cut out right there, or no?
I just cut that not too long. Let's see.
Oh, probably not then. No, I don't think I can make that one. Put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse, Terry. You might be able to. You got room over here. If you can get by that tree, then you're golden.
Oh, this one right
It's
here?
this right here, yeah.
If you watch that side for
I got
me,
this.
I'll pull my mirror in.
Yeah, you're good.
How much room I got over there?
You got about 6 inches.
Okay. Oh, we'll make it then. Yeah.
Come your way a little bit.
Yeah, I got room over here.
Yeah, go that way a little bit more. Little bit more, and you're golden.
Cool. Kick it to the left.
Yeah, kick it left there.
Go up that way. Is there a way out that way, or?
Yeah, it'll go all the way out to the highway.
Oh, let's do that then. Take it all the way around down the road.
Show you what I'm bush hogging over there.
Cut through here or cut through there?
Yeah, you can cut through here. This is all, Florida literally, dude, this was all cut. 3 weeks ago it was all mowed down because I bush hogged all of it, but it is just never ending. We're so blessed we got all this rain, but my God, Florida, this place was, the best piece of equipment I bought was that bush hog attachment for the skid steer. I just mowed down all this stuff, this overgrowth. It's
Would you ever get goats out here just to chow down all this?
Yeah, man, I really would like to do that. And in fact, I'm getting close to be able to do that up here where we've cut into the forest. And once we get it opened up enough to where we can put poly wire up, we'll bring in some goats and let them go hog wild. Look at those beautiful girls.
Oh yeah, those egrets just right there beside them. That's so cool. Now where are these?
There's George. Hey, George. He's our herd jester. So George almost didn't make it. 301 there. Hey, buddy.
Oh, he's coming up.
How you doing? Hey, George. You come say hi? He's a ham. We had him in the rehab pen for a long time. He was not doing well, so it's good to see him doing good. He's a little bit of a runt, but he made it, and he's a great part of our herd here.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Free range. Like
Yeah.
they got all this space to just run out here, eat, do whatever they want. Not pinned up in it.
Yeah, what's cool is in this field we established. So this pasture, this whole pasture is less than 2 years old.
Oh wow.
It was. I mean, I had to pop a couple hundred. So this was all timbered.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was harvested longleaf pine, and
That branch might come in the sunroof, but no big deal.
there we go. There's a shade mobile out there. So. That when it gets real hot, they'll go to that. Now we're going to be getting some solar-powered wells out here as well, and all this to the left, man. We're opening this all up. You know, just cutting in as we can and thinning it out.
As we're driving, I'm just seeing so many birds, rabbits. I think a lot, honestly, it's because you're not using pesticides out here.
Yeah.
Because there's so many wildlife for them to eat, so many insects.
Yeah, I mean, well, and the other thing too is if you're seeing rabbits, we don't have a predator problem. You know, I mean, there was a point in time where we had a ton of predators on the property, and that's kind of slowed down a little bit, which is great. Yeah.
Do you ever have any issues with snakes biting cattle?
Yeah, actually, one of our chickens got bit, we think. But it's a concern. So one of the first things I did was, when I got here this morning, was jump on the skid steer, and I mowed on the outside of the perimeter fence around between the paddocks that you saw there and the swamp, just to kind of cut that back. Yeah, we have copperheads and water moccasins certainly here if you get close to the water. Yeah.
Yes, rattlesnakes too, right? You should have them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a little. If you're gonna be, kind of walking around in the woods or doing any work near water, I usually grab I got a little Judge. Put 410 shells in there, man.
I got one of those. I got a Governor.
It's the best.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. That's why I keep them in the wife's car. I'm like, baby, if you can't get it done with 6 410 rounds, you ain't gonna get it done.
No.
Like.
Yeah, and the property go all the way up there to the top of the hill. Yeah, right here on 79. I've kind of thought about getting a sign up here, but and
I think that'd be really cool. 9-line Wagyu farm,
Yeah.
right here, better known. I think it'd be a great idea.
yeah. At the same time, I don't know that I want people to know what we got in the field.
That's true too.
But I don't know.
That is true.
Ed does a good job at patrolling the ranch, so
One thing I think is also really cool is we're at 1 hour from 38.
I know.
Like I think it's like, I want to say 55, 60 miles,
Yeah.
something like that. It's not far at all, and it's like a whole different world over here. But the fact that you can be eating great Wagyu steak just an hour away, where over there's obviously no room to raise a cattle farm,
That's right.
but you can supply that entire area with.
Well, it's really tough to find good, and listen, man, I grew up in Nebraska, right? And I never got to work with cattle, but I worked in I'd walk beans to tassel corn, throwing hay bales, picking vegetables, all that stuff. And dude, there's no way I was ever. I don't like that part of ag, growing things. I don't, and then I'm like, oh, I want to get into cattle. I get into cattle, and come to find out, I gotta grow pasture, and I'm right back into, taking care of these fields. But you can't really find great soil. It's hard to find good soil south of I-10. It's real sandy. Right here is where it starts getting good, and we can really establish great pasture land.
Oh, you can never get grass this green back Santa Rosa. It's not going to happen. It's just too sandy.
No. Actually, when you come up here to this tree, take a left, and I'll show you the future. We got a hay barn back here where we store all of our hay.
Right.
Yeah, right here. Go ahead, just turn in here. This is our south pasture here. And then the future of 9-line is we're gonna move to what's called a total mixed ration feed protocol, which the belief is that obviously we need the cost per head is really high right now buying grain that is pre-mixed. So if you can buy those commodities in bulk and store them and then do your own mixing, you can cut the cost of the feed in about half. So all this rebar here, that's going to be concrete walls.
Oh, nice.
Semi trucks come in here, they'll dump the commodities in each one of those bays, and that vertical mixer right there, I got that from a dairy farmer that unfortunately was he was selling his business and then moving back home. But so that vertical mixer, I can take 2 of those big 6-foot bales there and dump it into that thing to grind it up. And it's got a scale on there, so we've got a feed ration already kind of figured out. We use Dr. Jimmy Horner, who is the preeminent expert really in the world for Wagyu nutrition, and he designed a feed ration that we can mix right here, and like I said, it'll cut the cost in half. We're able to source it.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge, man. And what's better is we'd install fence line bunk feeders down on the fence line, so we never enter the pasture to feed them. We just drive down the fence line and then dump that feed in there, and the animals are able to consume it better.
Less
So a
stress,
lot better.
too.
Yeah, less trash. I mean, less waste too.
Yeah.
So I take these bales and I throw it into a hay ring over there. Well, I'm losing you have 30% loss
Oh, wow.
of that bale. It just, you can't get it back. I mean, they can't. And plus, the other thing too is there's some diseases that are spread by, when the animals are eating off the ground all in one concentrated area. If you don't move those hay rings around, you can get some diseases spread amongst the animals. So it's really good to, it's a cleaner way, less spread of illness, better nutritional absorption, and
I would think that's a big benefit of running a smaller farm, less chance of contamination compared to run 1,000 cattle.
yeah, no question. I mean, your big commercial operations, they have to do a TMR type setup because it's just, you would, in order to grain the animals out, you'd go broke if you're buying pre-mixed feed.
Was there something, I guess, like an old farm here? I see rows.
Yeah, so good question. So we stripped these, this field is Bahia, so we planted it with Bahia grass, and then these strips, these low-lying strips, that's actually perennial peanut hay. So we sprigged it with perennial peanut. So it's a legume. So what it's doing is putting nitrogen back in the ground, and the animals love it, obviously. So it's kind of best of both worlds. University of Florida cooperative, they have a cooperative extension in every county in Florida, and they do a tremendous amount of research. The Mariana branch was having great success in stripping Bahia fields with perennial peanut hay. I worked with Dr. Jose DeBow. He's the forage expert at the University of Florida, and he said, he was like, man, I'm telling you, if you're going to do regenerative, operation, I highly suggest doing this, and it's done exceptionally well.
Man, it's so pretty.
We have some dog fennel those tall weeds are dog fennel. We got some pulling to be done there. But
Cows won't eat those?
No. It's another invasive weed found in Florida, unfortunately.
You got the best of both worlds. You got the beach and the bay back home, then you got the cowboy country up here.
Yeah. Man, when it gets stressed out down there, you're all stressed out in real estate.
Busy, tourists, all that.
Roll up here on Friday afternoon, man, and it's like a whole nother world.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And I don't know about you, man, but I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up, in a farm town. I enjoy working with my hands. I like physically working, and I'm not
satisfying about it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like real estate isn't. We work our tails off, obviously, in the real estate industry, but
it's a different kind of work.
It's a different kind of work,
Yeah.
and sometimes I just need to go build something.
I'm very rarely am I going to get physically exhausted in real estate. I can't think of anything compared to farm work that would be physically exhausting in real estate. Just get mentally exhausted in real estate.
Heck, me and my boy, all that wood down there, that was all, we had oak trees knocked down. I think we hauled probably 30 tons of deadfall from a storm. We had a really bad storm here. And Sam, for 2 days, Sam and I busted our humps on that, man. And that kid, he'll remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Ever, and if there's anything I can instill in my boys, it's like work ethic, Pretty much the world's your oyster. If you just work hard, man. Out hustle everybody else. Helps if you got, a little bit of brains behind all that hard work, don't just blind, but the point is they've watched their mom and I work our tails off, and they've seen us, and it's a family business too, right? So they understand what it takes to produce what we're producing, and that's going to propel them through the rest of their lives.
Oh yeah. No, this is hard work. Anything they do after this is going to seem a lot easier to them.
Well, when we get into laying fence, I'll be sure to give you a call, because that's
I've done that. It's hard work. Did that a lot after the hurricane in high school. Hurricane Katrina.
Oh yeah.
My buddy Kyle from the gym, he's always like, John, how are you so much stronger and better looking than me? And I'm like, bro, it's because I take the Liver King supplements. And I'm happy to announce that Liver King has decided to sponsor our show when everyone else was saying, you guys are too small, your audience is too small. Liver King was like, nope, we love your show, we're gonna sponsor it. So now we have an affiliate link up for you to go buy these supplements to help support our show. And no BS, I've been taking the Butter Vanilla Whole Feast protein shake for the last 2 years, and I've been taking the Liver King supplements for the last 3 years. And I really like the ingredients. When I started getting conscious of what was actually in my protein shakes, like canola oil and bad ingredients, I was like, this has gotta stop. This is all grass-fed beef organs, bone marrow, liver, and it is delicious. I personally like to mix it in whole raw milk, and it is just so good. So go check out our affiliate link, get some supplements, and get you some Whole Feast. Want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, the Boatman Ritchie Law Firm. Since Riz and I have sold our business and been out in the public eye, it has unfortunately attracted a lot of bad people looking to make money or take advantage of us. And in the last 2 years, we've had to hire the Boatman Ritchie Law Firm 4 times. What I love about them is that they're just so knowledgeable and experienced and aggressive when they need to be aggressive. Yes, Jim and Ernie, they are my partners in the title company, but their law firm is completely separate. And when we work with any of their attorneys, which I've worked with a different attorney on all 4 of my cases, because all their attorneys have an expertise in what they do. And they're always just so professional, so knowledgeable. And what I really like about them is that they'll tell you up front, like, this is a winnable case, or yes, you could win this, but it's not going to outweigh the cost that you're going to spend because the guy you're going after doesn't have any money even if you win. So they won't just try to bill you by the hour and make a bunch of money off of you. They're very honest. They're truth guided, and they're a Christian law firm, which I really appreciate in dark times that we live in these days. Everyone that I have referred to them, they have said the exact same thing. They're just like, wow, that is such a good law firm. And I truly mean that. So if you need an attorney, or you need some legal advice, or you're just trying to prevent some litigation from even happening in the first place, contact them. You're not going to be disappointed.
When you're going to hire a lawyer, find somebody who's smart, has a good reputation, and who understands that sometimes de-escalating a matter or allowing it to resolve or provide opportunities for resolution at the lower level of escalation makes a lot of sense.
The ultimate goal is to stop litigation from even happening. It's to solve the problem. But if we can't solve the problem early on, now I am 4 steps ahead of the attorney that's now going to be involved in this lawsuit because I've lived the issue with my client. And that's ultimately the goal, being prepared and having a strategy.
When I'm going to be giving guidance, it's going to be driven by a strategy approach that tries to resolve things at the lowest possible place in the escalation scale. And when that means the lowest, monetary cost, the lowest emotional cost.
But being truth-guided, seeking the truth, and that truth being Jesus himself in all that we do, and being relationship-driven is everything about how I want to practice law.